My name is Brady Roberts, and I am an actor.
Now. Yeah, Mom, no, give Dad a kiss for me.
And pro wrestler. And I also own a film company where we develop and shop television properties. Some of you may know me from the Nightwing web series that we did that was really popular on YouTube. I also got to audition for DC's Titans.
No, I like coffee.
You kinda picked the wrong line of work, didn't you?
Tell myself that every day.
So what? You and your sidekick go bad?
Sidekick?
Yeah.
But for the last 8 years, I've been producing and developing properties for television and pitching them. Through networking and building relationships, I was able to land a pitch with Warner Brothers where I pitched them an insane Nightwing animated series, and I'm going to tell you all about it. So when I did the Nightwing live action series for YouTube, I actually developed an outline for a Nightwing TV show just in case I had the opportunity to ever pitch it to Warner Brothers. I did not, but I don't think it would have gotten picked up anyway because of Titans and all the other things they had going on. But when I had the opportunity to pitch the animated series, I took that outline and reworked it because I knew in animation I had a lot more free reign and could pretty much go crazy with my ideas. So before we dive into it, I just wanted to do a quick history and touch on Nightwing's appearances in animation, starting with the original Super Friends series, where he was just Robin. 1977's New Adventures of Batman, where he is once again still referred to just as Robin. He has not turned into Nightwing yet. Of course, we all know and love Batman the Animated Series, 1992 to 1995, where Dick Grayson appears and later becomes Nightwing. And then, of course, the sequel to that, The New Batman Adventures, 1997 to 1999. Nightwing continues to appear in this series. The Teen Titans series in 2003. The Batman series in 2004. Nightwing appears. Of course, 2010's Young Justice. Nightwing is the leader of the team. 2008's Batman the Brave and the Bold. Nightwing makes some appearances in that series. And the 2016 animated movie, Batman Bad Blood, where Nightwing plays a central character. And of course in live action as the leader in the Titans series on HBO Max. But to this day, Nightwing has never starred in his own solo series, animated or live action, which I just think is insane given the popularity of the character and how important he is to the DC universe. I mean, if you think about it, Vixen has had her own series, Hitmonkey has had his own series, Kite Man has his own series coming, but no Nightwing series. So when I had the chance, I very passionately pitched this show to Warner Brothers, knowing that I was the person to make it, having had made a popular YouTube series about Nightwing, really diving into the character, explaining my love for all things Dick Grayson and his background. And now, I'm going to tell you about the show that I pitched. If you've seen the live action series that we did on YouTube, you're going to notice that some of the ideas for storylines we had in that series are also incorporated here. Some of these ideas are totally crazy. Some of you are not going to like these ideas at all, but I really wanted to go out on a limb and try some different stuff. And it was also important for me to make sure that Nightwing was really developed as the main character of this series, even overshadowing Batman, which we are going to see. So don't yell at me in the comments. Wait until you've heard the whole thing. If you hate it, you hate it. You can also develop your own Nightwing animated series. This is my take on it, so don't get mad at me in the comments. Okay, the synopsis. Batman is missing. Same as we did in the live-action series. In his absence, Gotham has become a no-man's land, sanctioned off into areas run by different gangs. Nightwing, the estranged prodigal son, is convinced by Batgirl to return from Bloodhaven to investigate Gotham's rogues about their potential involvement in the disappearance of their mentor. But they end up knee-deep in a different mystery, the Court of Owls. That's right, the Court of Owls, at least in the first couple seasons, is sort of the main villain of this show. Nightwing teams up with Batgirl on a mission to uncover the truth. This series takes a massive twist, as we did in the live-action series. Batman, poisoned and brainwashed by the Court of Owls, goes on the attack, paralyzing Barbara Gordon and killing Jason Todd. Again, don't yell at me just yet. Wait till we get to the end. You'll see some of these things explained. In order to save Gotham City, Nightwing must reluctantly fight his own mentor and father figure, stepping out of the Bat shadow and reclaiming the cowl. Okay, Season 1. no man's land. In a throwback to the world's greatest detective, season 1 is a mystery. Nightwing returns to Gotham City to solve the disappearance of his mentor, the Batman. He works alongside his ex-girlfriend Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, as they hunt down Gotham's rogues gallery for clues throughout the season. This is a really cool way to incorporate a bunch of the villains from Gotham City, including some really obscure ones. In between crime-fighting adventures, Grayson begins dating childhood friend Teresa Tompkins, daughter of Bruce's doctor, Leslie Tompkins. This is a character that we created for the live-action series, an original character not from the comic books. When Teresa is kidnapped by Deathstroke, Nightwing races to rescue her, only to find out it was all a ruse set up by the mysterious Court of Owls, of which Teresa is a member of. Boom! Huge twist in season 1, as we did in the live-action series. Teresa Tompkins is actually a member of the Court of Owls. After battling Deathstroke and an army of Talons, Nightwing is informed by the Owls that they have Batman in their possession. The Court of Owls unleash their new weapon on Gotham City, Batman, under their control. An evil Batman controlled by the Court of Owls is the villain at the end of the season. Using a combination of Bane's venom and Scarecrow's fear gas, the Owls control Batman from the shadows. In a game-changing twist on the mythos, Batman attacks Batgirl and leaves her paralyzed and murders Jason Todd, the current Robin. Nightwing is emotionally destroyed. He can't help but question, will he ever have the strength to defeat Batman? So season 1 ends on a major cliffhanger, a major twist. And as you can see, this show is not really for kids. There is a lot of violence and murder. We went more the route of the DC animated movies and took a serious kind of dark approach on it. All right, after that major twist and shocking finale of season 1, we get into season 2, which is called the City of Owls. So the Court of Owls is really in control in this season. And Nightwing, still reeling from the shocking finale of season 1, assembles Batman Inc. and several Robins. Barbara becomes Oracle and builds the League of Batgirls. Together, these teams attempt to battle Batman and his Court of Owls, who continue their rampage on Gotham. Inevitably, this is to be resolved in a one-on-one fight between the brainwashed Batman and our hero Nightwing. Evil Bruce, mentally exhausted and starting to wear off from the brainwashing during their fight, sacrifices himself and passes the mantle of Batman off to Grayson. Again, don't yell at me, we're doing some crazy stuff in this series. We did it in the live-action web series, and we wanted to make Nightwing the central character here and take the mantle from Batman. This season ends with another big twist, as Grayson is given a Green Lantern ring after showing his ability to overcome great fear. Does Grayson choose the ring or the cowl? And we end the season on another major cliffhanger. So we have several different teams in this season, again, teaming up to take on the Court of Owls. All right, season 3, this is where things get really crazy. I was heavily influenced by the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, which I thought did some really fun stuff where each season the Turtles would look different, they would have different outfits, sometimes they would be in space. I thought that that also helped probably sell a lot of toys, which I thought was fun, but it gave them different looks and different locations. So we've done 2 full seasons in Gotham with the Court of Owls. Season 3 is something completely different. It takes a real left turn from here. Nightwing chooses to take the Green Lantern ring and leave Earth. Season 3 is called The Darkest Night. Worried he cannot live up to the cowl, Grayson heads into space to work alongside the Green Lantern Corps and encounters the villainous Sinestro Corps, including their new recruit, Yellow Lantern Scarecrow. Season 3 divides its time between a space adventure and a spiritual successor to Green Lantern the Animated Series and the grounded stories of the Gotham he left behind. So sometimes we are still checking in with Oracle in Gotham. Spending time in space allows Grayson to reevaluate life after being betrayed by Teresa, seeing Barbara paralyzed, and losing the closest thing he had to a father, Bruce Wayne. Just when he thinks things are starting to turn around, he encounters the evil Red Lanterns, who reveal his long-lost friend, Jason Todd, the former Robin, is in their ranks. Red Lantern Jason Todd. So this season becomes about a battle of Green Lantern Nightwing against Red Lantern Jason Todd. After an epic space battle, Nightwing decides it is time to leave the Lantern Corps behind and take his newfound personal growth back to Gotham as he feels ready to wear the Batman cowl finally. Batgirl informs him that Azrael, the acting Batman, has gone rogue and must be stopped. After Jason is defeated by Lantern Grayson, Atrocitus takes his red ring away and he returns to Earth with vows of vengeance. What I love about this season is that it's balancing a sort of epic space opera with the Green Lantern saga with a very personal story of Nightwing having to deal with the fallout of all of these things that have happened to him in the first 2 seasons. Okay, season 4, we are back on Earth, we are back in Gotham City, we're back to some more grounded stories, and season 4 is called Under the Red Hood, and you know what that means. Nightwing returns to Gotham City to take back the Batman cowl from Azrael, who continues to inflict violence on Gotham City. In the meantime, Bane and his army of villains have broken out of Arkham Asylum. Nightwing assembles Batman Inc., the League of Batgirls, and the Round Robins to fight off these new threats. Jason Todd becomes the Red Hood, hunting Nightwing and proclaiming himself to be the true Batman in the absence of Bruce Wayne, a Batman that will stop at nothing to dismember the villains of Gotham. So season 4 is an extended take on Under the Red Hood. In the meantime, we are also dealing with Bane and his army of villains trying to overtake Gotham, and of course Azrael under the Batman cowl, and Nightwing needs to regain that from Azrael. Season 5, The Dark Nightwing Rises. So, Season 5 revolves around Nightwing fully stepping into the role of Batman, wearing a hybrid Nightwing Batman suit. Having defeated Jason Todd and Azrael at the end of Season 4, Nightwing is finally able to don the cowl. So we are in the 5th season, and Nightwing is just now finally becoming Batman for real, so we've gone through a ton of character growth to get him there. Together with his teams of allies, he takes on new threats and old villains, including the returning Joker, who we don't touch until Season 5, Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows, and the Guild of Assassins. Season 5 also sees our supporting cast step into new roles. Stephanie Brown becomes the new Nightwing, Red Hood reforms his way and fights for good, and Duke Thomas from the Robins becomes the Signal. So Season 5 is an opportunity to kind of wrap everything in a bow and give everyone a happy ending as they step into these new roles. I did have some crazy ideas for a potential 6th season involving Nightwing donning the Hellbat armor to take on the 7 evil Batman from the Dark Universe, which is very much inspired by the Dark Knight's Metal storyline, but that was just a little extra. That was just me going really crazy. Season 5 would probably be a nice place to wrap up everyone's story. Okay, let's go through the main characters in the series that were pitched. Dick Grayson, of course, Nightwing, the original Robin, the apprentice to the Bat. Dick Grayson has been estranged from Batman for several years, fighting crime in Bloodhaven. He receives a call from his ex-girlfriend Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, who informs him that Batman is missing. Grayson is initially reluctant, but returns to Gotham to solve the mystery. Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl. This series is just as much about Barbara's journey as it is about Dick Grayson's. The ex-girlfriend of Grayson, Batgirl, is policing Gotham by herself after Batman goes missing. She calls Nightwing to return and help her. Barbara later forms the League of Batgirls and eventually rekindles her romance with Grayson. Batman / Court of Owls Batman, the world's greatest detective. We only see the original Batman in flashback form. The Batman we meet at the end of Season 1 has been missing for some time, captured by the Court of Owls. They drug him using the combination of Scarecrow's fear poison and Bane's venom. He becomes their ultimate weapon. Jason Todd, aka Red Hood. Jason is the second Robin. He's the Robin when this series begins, who at some point loses his way. When he is thought murdered by the Court of Owls Batman, Nightwing is shattered. We later find Jason in space as a member of the Red Lanterns. He then returns to Earth and becomes the villainous Red Hood before finally reforming his ways. Some of the teams that would appear in the series, as mentioned in the outlines for the different seasons, include the League of Batgirls. Established by Barbara Gordon, the League of Batgirls consists of Batgirl, Batwoman, Carrie Kelly, Cassandra Cain, Misfit, and Flamebird. The Round Robins would appear, consisting of Red Robin, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, and Thomas Duke, who later becomes the Signal. Jason Todd is a member before his demise in Season 1. Batman Inc., established by Bruce Wayne before his disappearance, Batman Inc. is led by Catwoman alongside Bluebird, Batwing, defected Talon Calvin Rose, and the spoiler, Stephanie Brown. And in that potential 6th season where Batman is taking on the 7 evil Batmen, there is a team called Beyond, which is a team of heroes transported from the future, led by Batman Beyond, followed by Static Shock, the Robins, Matt McGinnis and Dana Tan, and Batgirl, Tiffany Fox. Other allies include Azrael, one of Batman's oldest allies. Azrael will serve as our Batman during Season 3 while Grayson is in space. Unfortunately, Azrael's violent methods leave Gotham in worse shape than ever. The Birds of Prey. The Birds of Prey help police Gotham in Batman's absence. This version includes Katana, the Huntress, Onyx, and the Black Canary. Jim Gordon and the Question. Jim Gordon might be retired, but that doesn't stop him from fighting for justice. Detective Renee Montoya becomes the Question in later seasons, opening a supernatural element to the series. And Alfred and Julia, Bruce Wayne's trusted butler, now serving Dick Grayson. After the disappearance of Batman, Alfred locks himself away in Wayne Manor. His daughter Julia helps out around Wayne Manor. Some of the main villains, of course, the Court of Owls. Our main villains of Season 1, the Court of Owls, are a mysterious group in Gotham that has kidnapped and brainwashed the Batman, turning him against his own. Bane. Bane serves as the main villain of Season 4 and also sells his venom to help the Owls brainwash Batman in the first season. The Gotham Rogues Gallery. No story in Gotham would be complete without touching on the classic rogues who help fill out the season's obstacles for Nightwing. Obviously, the series is very serialized, but we still want to have some Villain of the Week episodes with some of these fun characters, including Mr. Freeze, Clayface, Black Mask, the Penguin, the Joker, Scarecrow, Two-Face, Ra's Talia Al Ghul, Sin Tzu, and, of course, the Condiment King. And the Gotham City Sirens, and a fresh take on the Sirens in this series. This would be Poison Ivy leading the Joker's daughter and the White Rabbit into mischief. Other villains would include the Assassin's Guild, led by Deathstroke, and you could throw a bunch of different assassins in there, including Deadshot, Lady Shiva, Grifter, Arkham Knight, KG Beast. I think Arkham Knight in this series would not be Jason Todd, as was revealed in the Arkham series, but maybe a fresh take on that character. Dr. Hugo Strange would lead a team of inmates from Arkham Asylum, including Anarchy, Owlman, Ragman, Bloom, and the Phantasm. Harley Quinn and the Monster Squad. Harley Quinn has enlisted her Monster Squad, including villains like Killer Croc, Man-Bat, Blockbuster, and Solomon Grundy. And of course, the Riddler, Edward Nygma, reformed from his time at Arkham, runs the Iceberg Lounge. When Nightwing comes to him for questions, he can't help himself slowly becoming the Riddler again. Okay, with every great TV pitch, there is a pilot. So I wrote a full 23-page or half-hour animated pilot, and I'm going to run through it with you. So it begins with a teaser, sort of an opening scene, set 20 years ago at Haley's Circus in Gotham City. We get a flashback to 20 years ago, and the Flying Graysons, Dick Grayson and his parents, are performing at Haley's Circus in Gotham. And tragically, an accident occurs during their performance, and his parents are killed, leaving Dick Grayson on his own. We see police officer Jim Gordon in his mid-30s finishing talking with Dick Grayson, sitting on a bench outside of the Big Top Circus, promising that he will be in good hands. And he is approached by Bruce Wayne and his butler Alfred, and Bruce is in his late 20s at this point. And of course, Bruce offers to take Dick under his wing, and they leave together, ending the initial teaser. We cut to 20 years later, and we are now in Bloodhaven. Dick Grayson is now Nightwing. He is 28 years old. He's handsome, rebellious. He's our crime-fighting hero, and he stands perched atop a skyscraper overlooking his city, just like his mentor Batman would have. He is in the middle of a rooftop fight against the villain KG Beast, who informs him that the Guild of Assassins has placed a bounty on the head of Nightwing. Nightwing defeats KG Beast, but after the fight ends, he receives a call on his comlink from Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl. Nightwing has not heard from Batgirl at some point here because they are estranged. He's left Gotham City and is now in Bloodhaven. And Batgirl is in Gotham, and she is in the Batcave, and she is training with Jason Todd, 22, Robin, is our current Robin, Tim Drake, 18, the next Robin in line, and they are training also with Cassandra Cain, who is 12. Nightwing explains that he's in the middle of something right now, but Barbara says this is very important and explains that Batman is missing. Nightwing initially sort of shrugs it off. You guys are fine. You can handle this on your own. And Barbara explains how serious this is. Barbara explains that Dr. Hugo Strange has released a bunch of patients from Arkham Asylum, and they are currently overwhelmed and need Nightwing's help. Jason Todd steps in and insists that Nightwing return to Gotham despite the personal issues that the two have, as they did not get along previously. Nightwing hops on his motorcycle and returns to Gotham City. We see Dick Grayson in the daytime pulling up to a Jitters Coffee in Gotham City as he returns, where he runs into an old flame, Teresa Tompkins. Of course, I outlined in Season 1 Teresa's role in this whole series, and this is them running into each other for the first time since childhood. Teresa explains she's working a part-time job at Powers Tech, and they exchange numbers and set up a time to go on a date later. Dick then returns to Wayne Manor, takes his helmet off, takes a look at Wayne Manor, and sort of reluctantly enters. Dick is greeted by Alfred, who also has his granddaughter Julia with him helping out. As Dick is reminiscing, looking around Wayne Manor for the first time in many years, we get a flashback to a 12-year-old Grayson training with Bruce Wayne in the Batcave and learning a very specific counter to a move, spinning and kicking Bruce's legs out, and he lands with a thud on the ground. And of course, they have a laugh together, as this is a training sequence. We return to the present day, and Alfred welcomes Dick back home. Dick makes his way down to the Batcave, sees everyone again for the first time. He's not really getting along with Jason. They're taking some jabs at each other. There's clearly some tension there, and there's some awkward tension with him and Batgirl, as at this point they are ex-boyfriend-girlfriend. Tim and Batgirl fill Dick in on Batman's disappearance. This leads us to another flashback just 2 years ago. So Nightwing is in his mid-20s, and he is in a heated argument with Bruce Wayne in the Batcave. Bruce accusing Nightwing of being reckless and almost getting them killed, and they have a falling out, and Nightwing grabs his stuff and leaves, and this is the last time that he interacted with Bruce. This is where Batgirl then pulls up information on the current villains of this episode, Dr. Hugo Strange breaking his inmates out of Arkham Asylum, and we get to see some of his team up on the screen, including Mr. Bloom, Phantasm, and Anarchy. As they're going through these villains, Dr. Hugo Strange hacks their computer and sends them a message letting them know that Mr. Bloom has hostages down at the docks. Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin, Jason Todd, race down at the docks, getting into a big fight with Mr. Bloom, who shoots one of his extending fingers right through Robin's leg, injuring him. Batgirl takes Jason to the Batmobile for assistance, and Nightwing is left to fight Mr. Bloom on his own. Just as he's about to be defeated by Mr. Bloom, Batgirl returns and helps save Nightwing. Nightwing then uses that counter that we saw in the flashback earlier that Bruce taught him, sweeping out, kicking his legs out to gain an advantage, before powering up his batons and defeating Mr. Bloom with electrocuted batons. Dr. Hugo Strange is watching on from another building from a window and is disappointed in Mr. Bloom and exits. And just as we think the episode is over, Nightwing and Batgirl are celebrating the victory, heading off to help with Jason Todd. A hook shoots out, trapping Nightwing's hand. Batgirl has another one shot at her, trapping her hand. We look up to the top of another building and we see the Arkham Knight is on top of another building, and he is holding Robin, Tim Drake, by the neck. Nightwing and Batgirl are shocked as Arkham Knight makes their way off with Tim Drake to end the episode and start another mystery, which of course is who is the Arkham Knight, because it is not Jason Todd, as we just saw Jason Todd is injured from the fight with Mr. Bloom. Alright, so how did the pitch and the response go? So we had a great phone call where I laid out my ideas for the whole series. They took a few weeks to go through the pitch deck that I had sent them. And finally, I received a response where they informed me that the team had taken a few weeks to go through it. They thought that it was very well thought out. They thought it was very inventive, and I had come up with some really interesting spins on the mythology. They loved some of the teams that I created and some of the different twists that take place through the show. But they do have what they called a glut of Batman family projects, some with some A-list talent attached. So unfortunately, they passed on developing the show. But it was still an amazing opportunity to get to pitch them and develop this show, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a great experiment for me. And of course, now we are pitching a lot of original properties. And what am I doing now? Well, we are going into season 3 of my hit podcast, Escaping Denver, with our company Rogue Panda Pictures, which you can find on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And we are currently in development as Broken on Deadline for a television adaptation of that show. Currently writing a couple different projects with Such and Sahel from the TV show The 100. And I wrote a book, The History of Comic Books on Television, in live action, of course. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, comic books being adapted for TV, I will leave a link to Amazon below, and you can take a look at my book. Obviously, this is a real passion project for me. I had a lot of fun developing it. Even though I got to pitch the show, I wasn't totally sure that they would ever actually pick it up, but it was an awesome experience to do so.